This is the State of the Nation Special Edition. Ibifa Mubanga. We are deliberate, we are reasonable, we are uncensored. The State of the Nation Special Edition with Moses Chirimutu Lukwago.
Yes. Welcome to the State of the Nation. This is our special edition, the State of the UNAA 2021. My name is Chirimutu Lukwago Moses, Ambassador Kamsung, live in the studios of the State of the Nation here in Toronto. It is time check 6:23 here in Toronto, and we're supposed to start at 6 this last session. We're sorry we are late by 23 minutes, but I promise you we shall catch up with time. In our second session, I have another bunch of candidates aspiring for different UNA executive positions. First of all, I have the aspiring presidential candidate, Lydia Natoro, is in the house, or is on the broadcast. Two, I have the aspiring executive secretary to the UNA, Maureen Asimwe Kalemba, aka Afande Momo, is in the house as well on the scene today. I welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, our viewers. We are live on our Facebook and YouTube channels at Henry Sally on both channels. Go subscribe, share, invite a friend to be part of this conversation. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. But not to forget that we also have Alhaj Beka Salongo Mulumba, who is also aspiring for the post of executive secretary. We also have him in the show. He'll be joining us later. He's still caught up by some things. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the broadcast this evening. Moses Lukwago Chirimutu is my name. My guests are ready, ever ready. Ngerianda. So briefly, when I come back in just 1 second after a short break, I'll let them introduce themselves to you, and we start immediately. Thank you.
This is the State of the Nation Special Edition. Ibifa Mubanga. We are deliberate, we are reasonable, we are uncensored. The State of the Nation Special Edition with Moses Chirimutu Lukwago.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us, ladies in the studio, Lydia Natolo and Maureen Asimwe Kalemba. You are live in Chicago, right? On Chicago land, eh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How are you this evening?
We are great. The journey has been a long one. But by God's grace, we're still enduring it, and it's such a great experience to be on the road. As everyone can see, we are in the car. We are going to the picnic for the Chicago community, so that we can also talk to our community members in Chicago. We're excited to be here. The jet lag, the exhaustion, that has nothing to do with what our mandate is. So thank you for asking. We are still breathing. That's all I can say.
Great.
Back
Maureen,
to you, sir.
How are you this day? Afande Momo.
Afande Momo, I'm okay. I'm on the road. I'm soldiering on, and I'm loving it. I'm in Chicago. And yes, we are going to the picnic to make it happen there too. Great. So I'm glad that I'm on your show, and I'm glad that we can make it and give our viewers what we have to give them before we continue to the picnic. Thank you.
It is my singular honor and privilege to host the two one of the two big, candidates on big offices. That's why I call them big, because presidential position is a big, that's the top seat. And the executive secretary is also a big seat in the UNNA organization. Would you please say hello to our viewers and introduce yourself briefly, and then after my producer will play your promos, and then we continue from there. Thank you. I'll start with Lydia this time as well.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chirimuntu. We are so grateful that you are here today. Again, my name is Lydia Natolo. I'm a resident of Irvine, California. I traveled to Chicago purposely. Chicago now, this is my 8th state I've visited to talk to our community members, tell them about our reason why we're coming to run. I work at the University of California Medical Center in the Department of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine. I just graduated from one of the most prestigious universities, University of California in Irvine, where I attained 2 degrees, a Bachelor of Science in Biology and a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. Somebody might tell me, why are you adding politics with science? But I believe politics runs our lives. Originally born in Uganda, Kasubi, Butakalya Kabaka. I am a daughter of Mr. E.P. Mutagubia, Nkenge, Owente, Akabidongari. And very grateful and humble and Christian woman who reigns from the hills of Kigali, Rwanda. My mother, Mrs. Jane Mutagubia. And I came to this country 21 years ago. And through my journey, it has been a journey. And as we go further, I will be able to elaborate where my journey has got me to pretty much run for the office of the Vice President, but even better yet, the office of the President. When I graduated from my university, I graduated as a student body president, pretty much serving a community of more than 60,000 students. And through that, I realized there's a lot that I was able to do because I was in the boardroom.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do to serve your community if you're not part of the conversation, if you're not on the table. So after serving my student body president, I said I want to go and serve my community. Yeah. I've been part of UNNA for 21 years, ever since I came to this country. I've served in UNNA. And now I want to run the major office, but also work with the other leaders who are coming to serve. So thank you, sir. Back to you.
You are welcome. Maureen, introduce yourself briefly and then say hello to the viewers.
I guess I'm the next, and I go by the names of Afande Momo or Maureen Asimwe Kalemba. That's what you'll find on your ballot paper. Come 4th and 5th of September 2021 in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's where we're going to have it. So I come to you as a soldier by profession, a lawyer by profession, a mother of 2, a humanitarian, at the same time, a person who takes care of others or a healthcare provider. So I'm here today to let you know that in all my fields, I've been dealing with humans. I don't deal with objects, equipment, or anything. I deal with humans and I serve humans. So yes, when you call me to service, I come to serve the humans or the human beings that are ready or members of an organ. Because wherever I work for members who belong to an organ. And UNNA has members that belong in there. So I'm coming to ask to serve you or to lead and help you bring down the services to the members where the member have been lacking these services. That's about the Momo. That's the lady of service and that's the lady of delivery. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Moses Lukwago Chiri Mutugegange. On this platform, we use both languages, English and Luganda. Nsanyusa okulaba Lydia Natolo omwana ow'ente enzaalwa y'e Kasubi. Nsanyusa okulaba Morina Simwe Kalemba enzaalwa y'Egayaza Kyaddondo. Eyawasibwa mu Buganda. Si bwe kiri mukyala Asimwe?
Yes, ebo bwe kiri.
Twakuwasa oli property yaffe e Buganda ofuuka waffe abaana ozaala Baganda.
Kituufu ddala abaana nzaala Baganda ddala sebo.
Yes, okay. All right, welcome to the broadcast this evening. We are having this 2-hour session. This time around, I'll start with Lydia, not all the aspiring presidential candidate. Lydia.
Yes, sir.
You are the outgoing vice president. And you are aspiring for the presidential position. Why are you running against your boss?
Thank you so much for that great question. You know, the first person asking me why.
Yes.
I can answer back, why not? And I'm so grateful that I came into UNNA leadership as a vice president.
Yes.
And I don't want to lag on the brokenness of what has not been done, but also of what happens behind the scenes. UNNA is a non-profit organization whereby UNNA has organs. UNNA is an organization that has to work in unison, in cohesion, in unity. Why I am running is because of the things of sin, of the works of sin, of the undone job. That if we had parallel kind of or horizontal kind of leadership, because we come from a world where it's a vertical kind of leadership. I'm talking about the dictatorship that we have from our country. That somewhere along the way, along the journey of the 33-year organization, a non-profit organization, some leaders have decided to create a vertical kind of leadership, whereby it's either their way or no way. And for me, I believe, and for other leaders have brought on this team unity, we believe that this non-profit organization deserves better leadership, which is a servant leadership. It's not about titles, I always say, but about people who show up and ask for a vote and ask for the membership of UNNA, that we are going to do ABCD, and rightfully so, ABCD has to be done, but not in a dictatorial way or in a vertical way of leadership, but rather working together to serve the greater good of the organization. That after we leave, we'll look back and say, I'm glad I went through what I went through. I'm glad many started cyberbullying me. I'm glad I have threats to literally take my life out. And Mr. Chirimut, I'm telling you this as a truth. I have a blogger who has been so vocal with the current leadership in Uganda that a threat was sent to me and my family in Uganda because I'm running for this position.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I've stood the test of time. And I'm saying no matter what they say, that they're going to come and pick me up and kill me and take me back to Uganda to be killed. Why would there be a threat on my life if you're really working for a non-profit organization that's serving people in the diaspora? UNNA was started 33 years.
3 decades ago.
On a great foundation. And I'm so grateful for those leaders who started this organization. It's an organization that was started for us in the diaspora to come together, to social network, to just sit down and have a meal together. to talk about the life experiences we've gone through this country. We as Africans, we're at the bottom ladder of the social way into this country. First of all, we are Africans. We're Black. We're immigrants. The best we would have done is for us to stick together, work together, support each other. That is why UNAA was started. And I'm so grateful for those leaders who started it in Atlanta once upon a time. But along the way, selfishness got into this, greed, the love of money. We're going to talk about these things.
Yes.
Because we've seen them, even through our leadership.
Yes, Lydia. Why
the love of
you...
power. The love of not doing the right thing, not following the Constitution, not listening to other leaders. Because it's either my way or no way. And that is why I'm coming. And I'm grateful. Because we need to build an organization that we need to let the next generation know their leaders who stood the test of time and said enough is enough. We are bringing leaders who have a heart to serve, not a heart to take away from the organization for their own good. And that is why I'm coming.
Lydia.
And that is why we have team unity. And I'm sure you've had two of my team members, the next vice president
on the panel
and the next treasurer, so much qualified that such has been missing in UNAA.
Lydia.
And that is why we're coming at a time as this. Thank you so much, sir. Back to you.
Yes, Lydia, you said in your previous submission that there is a lot of
volume.
Can you hear me? Yes, you said in your submission that there is a lot of things going on your life that is threatening. I would also add that there is slandering, spoiling your reputation, threatening your life and your family members. Why would you insist going ahead to run for the position which is surrounded by all these challenges? Why would you insist? Why would you put your life at risk?
Thank you so much for asking such a great question.
Yes.
I always say I'm a scholar for life. If you look back into history, Papa Madiba, Nelson Mandela the late, he went to prison for 27 years, purposely to liberate his people in South Africa. Dr. Martin Luther King, the late, we all know his story. If he did not stand and say, I have a dream that one day I want to see my Black kids, my Black children, in the same classroom with the white children.
Yeah.
We, even immigrants from Africa, we would not even have the luxury. I believe Lydia Natolo, a child who grew up in Kasubi, Luthaze, for those who know the geography of Uganda, I would not be a president of one of the most prestigious universities. So I stand on the shoulders. Rosa Parks, she refused to sit in the back of the bus and said, as a Black woman, I deserve, as a Black person, I deserve to stand in to sit in the front of the bus. So, threats have been put on my name.
Yes.
There's actually somebody following me in California. I might as well say that out there. There's a video about the threats Many have watched it. They're coming to pick me up. They know I live in California, and they're going to take me back to Uganda to skin me to death. Those are the words of the blogger. I don't have time to mention his name.
Oh my God.
There's been cyberbullying. There's been character assassination on my name.
I was going to ask that.
For those who know me,
yes,
my family is worried about me. So let them go ahead and talk whatever they want to say. They think when they say what they want to say, I'm going to put my hands up and walk away. They did that when I was running for vice presidentship. But guess what God did? I won.
So they don't.
I was running against 3 gentlemen, the only woman, and I won. They're using the same narrative to bring it back, and they've been doing it. But guess what? I'm still standing, and I'm going to walk to that ballot day, and I know the membership of UNA deserves better. And we cannot allow a group of people that talk stuff like that. They don't know the damage they bring to somebody. But my heart is strong, and I'm not going to give up, because I know why I came to UNA, and UNA deserves to be cleaned out of even such people who look at women and trash them, name calling, talk about stuff that damages women. We are not going to accept that. And if another leader allows their people to damage a fellow woman's life, my family is watching. My family is worried. My friends are worried. But I'm still standing. And God is gracious. That's all I can say, sir. We need to clean UNA from inside out. And I'm standing to say, we are bringing UNA back to the diaspora, where it belongs. Sure. And Team Unity is standing to do that. Back
Thank
to you,
you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Lydia. I had to spend a little more time on you because you mentioned very, very critical things in your submission. I'll come back to you more, Lydia, a little bit later. Maureen.
Yes, sir.
You have been the speaker for the UNA Council.
Great.
And that's a very big organ for UNA, which coexist with the executive and the board of trustees.
Absolutely.
And now you are leaving, you are leaving that position and want to join the position of the secretary to the executive secretary. Why are you doing that? What are you bringing on board?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chirimutu, State of the Nation, everybody watching us. Afande Momo are my names. And I just want to say that is an excellent question. Because why is why we are here. Why is why Team Unity was created. Because we were tired of that narrative of why. So we say that we are the doers. You know, because we are asking the why questions a lot, we provide the solutions and nothing is implemented. So we go in and say, you know what? We are not going to be the whys that are seated on the table, keep pointing fingers. We want to bring this, we can do it. So I'm going into the executive secretary office, which is the office which makes UNA. It is the office that is the umbrella or the beacon of hope for UNA, the pillar for UNA. This is where everything of UNA rotates inside out. So this office, everything that we are hearing negative about UNA, this office is the one which has the negativity that it throws out to people. There is little we can give kudos to in this office. So even though we work so much as speaker, as president, as vice president, as council, when this office is letting us down, we won't be productive. So guess what everybody said? The productive woman has to come in. So Madame Lydia Natoro saw that in me, that I'm the productive woman for the job, because she needs excellency. Madame Lydia Natoro is full of excellency, okay? She's a humanitarian who wants to see results. She needs feedback, transparency, and accountability. How is that going to come in if the person in this job of the executive secretary is not doing their job?
Yeah.
If they're not doing their job, then the whole of UNA is crumbling. We have right now an ineffective registration system. When we came here on your show to ask people to register, do you know I have friends in the community, leaders in the community who failed to register? And they were showing me their screenshots, showing me how they liaised with the secretary, how the promises were there, but still they failed. Do you know how hurting that is? That I have leaders in my community who never registered. And yet I even went making noise around them, or telling them, making rallies, doing everything around them. And they adhere to the call. But guess what, Mr. Chirimutu? They could not go through the system. The system still rejected them. So how are they going to love UNA? Tell me.
Yeah.
That is the office that is going to fail everybody else. So we are coming in to tackle this office. Proficiency, professionalism. We're coming in to streamline this office so that at least something can flow. We can leave something flowing for the next leadership, for the next leadership, and the next leadership, so that we can see progress. This office lacks progress. Mr. Chirimutu, this office is the one which prepares the conventions. Can anybody tell me that we have a screenshot or a small video to show us a synopsis of our convention hall where all the activities are going to be taking place? Do you have it, Mr. Chirimutu?
Not yet.
Have you seen it anywhere? Have you seen it anywhere?
Not yet.
Yeah, those are the things. We don't have the information. So we're going to be stewards and scouts on that day, telling people, go here, go here, go here. By now, a small synopsis should have been out there telling us, when you get in Cincinnati, get to the airport, get into the shadow, come all the way down to this boulevard, get out, get into the main hall. The hotel rooms are right here on your right. The geography is right here, registration, our main ballroom. This would be this. So that even information is flowing so much that somebody does not need to call somebody, to call somebody, to call somebody in order to get there. Right now, we are going to the Chicago picnic, okay? We already have the information where it's taking place because they have advertised it forever. But they're advertising only registration, boat cruise date, and when the dates are, they're just showing us a boat. How is a boat going to help us to get into the whole of convention area, where every decision making is going to be taking place? The AGM is the most important thing in this office. And the AGM is organized by the Board of Trustees, okay? But none of those Board of Trustees has come out to hint, when you come to the convention, please come up by the AGM and make sure that you attend so that we can have some decision making done. Because for the previous 4 years, AGM is not sitting. Those things are the ones that are missing in this office. And guess what? Because I've seen them missing, I'm the woman to bring them back and make sure that they're productive and make sure that they give us the results, the feedback, the connectivity, the information that we so desperately desire. And then this organization, with the feedback, with the benefits known, with everything that is being done by it, when it's transparent, members will come back to this organization. But members are leaving us. So we are saying the secretariat should be revamped so that members can come back and get the good of this organization. And that's why I'm coming.
Okay. Thank you so much, Maureen Afande Momo, for such a wonderful presentation. I'm going into a short break. In that short break, we shall be playing your promos. But when we come back, I want us to start from here. I want you to start from this question. It seems you have a lot of things to do in 2 years to revive UNNA. How are you going to select priorities in only those 2 years, which seems to be a very short period of time for you to do a tremendous change? Thank you. When we come back, we shall start from there. Before we go, I want to remind our viewers and the guests, all the aspiring candidates were invited to attend this town hall. Those who accepted our invitation are the ones that you view or you see here. Those who did not accept our invitation did not manage to attend or declined. Those who were expecting to join us, amongst them is Salongo Haj Abubeka Mulumba. He haven't yet got a reason as to why he's not joining, but he is supposed to join us to be with us today, this evening. Probably he is still coming. So when we come back, we shall continue from there. My producer, Henry, thank you.
This is the State of the Nation Special Edition. Ibifa Mubanga. We are deliberate, we are reasonable, we are uncensored. The State of the Nation Special Edition with Moses Chirimutu Lukwago.
I was originally born in a small village in Uganda. Grew up walking 2 hours to go to school. If you told me that I'll be standing in this space 2 years ago, I'll laugh at you because I know where 2 years laid me. I take no minute for granted because of the journey I've lived. My ultimate goal is to be able to change and help those I left behind. Use every opportunity to learn, to go back in your communities where you came from and be the change, be the vehicle of change that we desire.
This is the State of the Nation Special Edition. Ibifa Mubanga. We are deliberate, we are reasonable, we are uncensored. The State of the Nation Special Edition with Moses Chirimutu Lukwago.
Thank you for being part of this conversation. Thank you for sparing your data and time to view what is transpiring in the UNNA elections 2021. Just a countdown of few days to go. It will be the first weekend of September in Cincinnati, Ohio, United States of America, in the 33rd annual UNNA Convention and Trade Expo, when this election will also take place. We are having a conversation with the presidential candidate, and the aspiring candidate for the position of the executive secretary on the UNA executive. Lydia, you have a lot of pleasure. You have a lot of things to do, because in your submission, it seems there's a lot of brokenness in the system, in everything. The question is, how do you set priority in this shortest period of time you have for only 2 years?
I want to echo back what you just said or asked, that there's been a lot of brokenness in UNA. And what was your last ask? What
are your, I said you have a lot of things to do to revive UNA in a very shortest period of time, in 2 years. On your list of pledges, you have a couple of things to do because of brokenness in the system. You said it. How do you set priorities? You can't hear me? Lydia, you are muted.
We are in the same space with Madam Speaker, so can you please give me the last part of the ask?
Okay.
Please, sorry about that.
It's fine. The last part of the question is, you have a lot of things to do in a space of 2 years, very shortest period of time. There's a lot of brokenness you talked about in the system. You know, how do you set priorities to effectively handle these things you bring on board?
I'm really sorry. We just got to the picnic, and we are not in a good space to have the I need to know, the phones are ringing. I just need you to help me and do that last ask again. Because we got to the picnic, they wanted us, I think, to get out, but we need to finish this debate. So please, again, somebody came and opened the door, and I could not hear.
Okay, I'm rephrasing the question. You have a lot of things on your pledge list. You have a lot of things on your pledge list to do in just a space of 2 years, very shortest period of time. How are you going to set priorities on these things?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chirimuntu. Now I know the question. I was about to answer different ask. Thank you so much. And again, when you say that we have a pledge to our UNA membership, I want to literally explain the pledge we're bringing to our UNA membership and also the diaspora. UNA is an umbrella for Ugandans living in the United States and also Canada.
Yeah.
If we think about the numbers of Ugandans living in the United States and Canada, it could be more than 150,000. And those are Ugandans who want to be associated with the communities. It could be more than that. When we just started out, when I just came to this country 21 years ago, there's a time, pretty much, there was a convention and 4,000 Ugandans showed up. Today, we even fight to have 1,500 Ugandans.
Oh, really?
In Chicago, when I was running for VP, 1,200 Ugandans showed up. Those are the ones who voted for us into power, into leadership.
That's a very big difference.
So why are we saying this time around Team Unity is not pretty much bringing a manifesto and saying we're going to bring heavens down? We are pretty much bringing what we call a social contract with the UNA membership and the diaspora. Why do we differentiate UNA membership and diaspora? UNA membership, because we are here with the membership of UNA. But also, we want those Ugandans who have walked away, because we know that is the brokenness I'm talking about in UNA. Along the journey, again, I said I want to appreciate the founders of UNA. UNA was founded on the great foundation for us people in the diaspora. But somehow along the way, greed came in, visible hand came in, money came in, and some Ugandans were like, no, we're not going to deal with this. So they walked away. And that's why we're also appealing team unity to the diaspora, diasporians who have walked away from UNA. That's why you have other organizations out there, but also those who don't want to associate themselves with UNA anymore and saying UNA belongs to the hands and to the people of Ugandans in the diaspora. So our social contract, you can say 2 years to just a few months, but I believe with the team, we pretty much handpicked, because these are leaders who don't want titles because they already have titles where they are. They're professionals in their spaces of work. They're people who have served this country in the army, in the navy. They work for the government. They work in medical fields. Even our youth. We even reached out to Canada community and said Canada belongs to UNA. Canada has been left out of the dialogues in UNA. So the 10-point program, our pledge with our team, these are things UNA should have done almost 15 years ago.
Can I have a brief breakdown of those 10-point program, of that 10-point program?
The first one is to provide services. That's what UNA should do. We are immigrants in this country. There's no reason why when our people come here, they don't know where to go. We have our members, our own brothers and sisters, where their first home is an immigration prison. Some of the things my office has been able to do with the leadership of some council leaders and council members is to help 7 of our brothers and sisters come out of jail. And one of them is a mother of 2. A mother of 2. If we all know about the Mexican caravan, I wonder how many Ugandans know that we had brothers and sisters at the Mexican border who traveled to North Africa, walked through the jungle, noticed that everything painful.
Oh, really?
People dying in the jungle. But one of them was a mother of 2. But we started what we call an immigration program. 90-day program. Get them a home to stay. We're working with a team of lawyers, non-profit organizations that are supporting us financially. And some of it is our money, by the way. We have not used UNA money to help our brothers and sisters come out of those prisons. They have jobs. We help them with their paperwork. One of the other success story, which is coming out very soon, he just signed off a condo in less than a year. Lived in a prison, his first day in America, but now he's signing off a condo. Because I picked up a phone and I called some of my leaders and said, we need to help our people. And we've done it by God's grace. Good. Number 2, open UNA to all community members. Definitely came into UNA leadership. We had all these dreams traveling all over the diaspora. to bring UNA to the people.
Mm.
There are other services, by the way, on the list. I won't go in depth. There's so many. Second one, I was on a TV interview in Boston, Massachusetts, and our incoming executive secretary literally said that she had no idea who the council leader was for New England. Most of our people don't know who their leaders are in the community. So we want to change that narrative. We leaders who come into these spaces, we need to literally show that heart of service and go be part of the communities. Number 3, be accountable and transparent.
Lydia, could that be the reason?
The 3 major themes for Team Unity is accountability, transparency, and results. For many who have been in UNA, who know the history of UNA, UNA leaders have not been accountable for most of the things they've done. And that is the brokenness in UNA. Because again, some leaders think they're above the law and the rule of law. Lydia, we are bringing that notion back and saying we need to be accountable as leaders.
Lydia,
UNA needs to be transparent.
Yes, Lydia.
When the members are paying these fees and all this money floating out there, and there's no transparency, and we call ourselves leaders, no. Team Unity is saying no to this.
Lydia.
Number 4, bring unity and cohesion.
Before you go to number 4, Lydia, before you go to number 4.
Okay.
It's been in your tenure that the office of the vice president and the secretary have been accused of mishandling the funds from Ugandan government. Of course, I'll come to that reason about the Ugandan government funds. But the issue here is accusing the office, or because we know funds come through the office of the vice president and then dispatched, to perform or to do work in the operations, and they are accusing the executive for mishandling the resources, the money.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chirimoto. I don't know whether you want me to answer that, and I will go ahead and do, because a lot of accusations are out there, flooding, and of course, Lydia Natolo's name and the office of the vice president. Pretty much, the narrative is I sent the money back home to Uganda, and I'm against it. As Lydia Natolo and as the vice president, first of all, I need to put this disclaimer out. I don't have the power to send the money back home to Uganda or refuse it to come to the communities. That money was signed off once upon a time by the leaders of UNAM because the communities wanted that money. The Uganda government sends $100,000 to UNAM. 50,000 goes to preparations of the convention, and 50,000 goes to the communities. The 50,000 is sent to the treasurer, the executive treasurer of UNA. The 50,000 stays at the embassy, and I want the UNA membership to know this. The 50,000 that goes to the communities stays at the embassy.
To do what?
That money.
Stays at the embassy to do what? What does that money do? That money
goes to the communities. So I'm trying to explain this. So when I came into office, there were guidelines that were prepared before, but we wanted to make sure that we have clearer guidelines. Because when we came into power, the office of the president got the money that was there and it was distributed as COVID relief to communities. While we're into this process, some of the leaders, we realized and said, this is the work of the vice president. It's not the work of the president to distribute this money. So we went back, especially the council leadership and the council, they rewrote the guidelines. And this was actually the words. We had a joint meeting. The Board of Trustee chair, Mr. Agaba, emphasized this money has to be distributed from the office of the vice president. But in the prior guidelines, that was not in black and white. So we needed to rewrite the guidelines. So think about all the time that is taken. And we're actually running out of time, because at a certain day, the last day of June, if that money is not distributed to the communities, it goes back to Uganda government. So here we are rewriting the guidelines. Rightfully so. We put it in black and white because we wanted to leave clear guidelines for the next generation of leaders. To make sure, because the vice president's office is responsible for the overall advancement and development of the association of UNA. The office of the vice president works with community leaders and communities. So rightfully so, that money is supposed to come from the office of the vice president. But the prior guidelines did not have that in black and white. So by the time we're done with the guidelines, then I sent those guidelines from the council. They came to the executive. Then we send them to the ambassador, who approved them. Send them back to us. Then I called a community Zoom meeting with all the leaders, community organizations, and affiliates of UNA. So we had this meeting, showed them the guidelines. One of the major item on the guidelines was community organizations have to have 15 members in good standing. Then affiliates, I come from California. I could say the organization will be like UCOCA, the Uganda Community Organization California. There are two of them. Uganda Community Organization Southern California. Then the affiliate will be a culture organization like NAMCA. So the organization has to have 15 members in good standing. The affiliate has to have 10 members in good standing. Madam Speaker, the Executive Secretary coming in, and I believe she will make it, talked about the failed system that we've been having. And so many UNA members know what has been going on. There is a time an organization had more than 40 people at a barbecue. And they're pretty much trying to register their members. And they could not. They could not register their members. So that means even though they send their applications, they could not go through.
Yes.
And that is the job of the Secretariat. And that is why we say, when somebody throws stones at the office of the vice president, they might think twice. Why was I not supposed to do my job on time? Because one of the major guidelines was to have organizations send their members in good standing. And here we are. They could not register their members. So I called the ambassador and told him to give me more time. And rightfully so he did. 2 days later, we're in a joint meeting, and the president comes and says the man has gone back to Uganda. To me, that was something.
Yes.
And I asked why. How?
It's weird. Yeah.
I was just talking to the ambassador. And he said, it's okay. I'll give you more time. And she said, I'm talking to the accountant of the embassy. Here I am talking to the top guy, the top leader in the embassy. And now the president is bringing information that she's talking to the accountant that the money has gone back. So for me, that is where we say UNA is broken and we need to clean it up.
Sure.
If somebody is working on their job and they felt it was more like a sabotage, She even called leaders and said the vice president does not want to give you your money because she wants it to go back to Uganda. And she's not doing anything about it.
Okay.
But I was doing my job.
Yes.
So that is where everything went down the stall. But I want to tell the membership of UNA, even the ambassador of Uganda, Ambassador Mukatenda, has talked about this. If the membership of UNA does not want this money, come to the annual general meeting. This is one of the less attended events at the convention. The ballroom is filled up. The boat is filled up. The lobby is filled up. When it comes to the AGM, where the critical matters that run this non-profit organization, again, I want to emphasize, this non-profit organization, UNA members do not show up. And that is why our organization is going down the drain. And that is why we say it is part of our social contract to you, the membership, to come to the AGM in Cincinnati. Just let your leaders know. If you want this money, vote yes. If you don't, vote no. And let us move on. Let us rebuild our organization.
Yes.
Let me go to number 5.
Before you go to number 5, Lydia.
Yes, sir.
Before you go to number 5, I'll come back to you just in a few minutes. I want to engage Maureen. Just pause right there at number 5, which I shall come back to you briefly. Maureen.
Yes, sir.
In Team Unity, you are coming out with 3 important things. 1, accountability. 2, transparency. 3, results. Briefly break down the things and tell us, why do you choose those? Are you choosing people for that? Why do you go for those things specifically?
Sir, thank you so much for that wonderful question. I'm going to go back and first elaborate on certain things. One of the things that when I'm a lawyer by profession, and when I hear certain things, I need to address them immediately. So when I hear them, one of the things I had, Madam VP expressing cyberbullying or harassment. Okay. And I'm telling you, I'm big on that. And I am going to use all the legal amnesia I have to make sure that that cyberbullying is going to be stopped. I'm documenting every cyberbullying. Why? Because people think they can do all they want against people to make them feel noteworthy. Okay? They want to pull you down by cyberbullying you. She is a quiet one. Okay? She will ignore you. I, Marina Simwe Pandemomo, I won't. I will come back at you with all the amnesia I got.
Are you intimidating? Yes. Afande, are you intimidating people?
When somebody comes for me, I am going to go out, and I will go out 110%. I will do it. But for her, and she's a harsh girl. She does not. She won't go there. You know, that is her character, and I respect it. Okay, what I don't respect is somebody to continue digging her for her to be able to burst. You know, to get her self-esteem down. Any woman pulling down a woman's self-esteem, Afande, I don't believe in that. I have advocated for people in my community, people who are bullying them on blogs, and we've had restraining orders on them.
Yes.
Okay? We're going to bring the same system in UNA.
Afande, let's go to the points.
No, I'm still elaborating on this. This is very crucial because it's happening. Intimidation is happening, and it's really happening so much. But I am going to make sure that that intimidation stops, whether elected or not. That is a borderline for me. Okay? It is something I cannot let a fellow leader, a person who is aspiring to lead somebody voluntarily, feel less than, feel not worthy, feel like they are threatening her life. For what good reason? Because it's volunteer to lead a non-profit. That is when I'll come in with my legal amnesia, and we will make sure all of us lawyers in this organization, we are going to make that a law in our organization to stop. It gotta have come to a stop, and I'm putting a stop to that. Next, you talked about why we have a long list and how we're going to do it in a short while. And I'm telling you, this long list has been something that people have been working on. The results are yet to be seen. Okay, we are saying.
Your phone, Afande. Try to bring your phone.
Sorry. Yeah, the results are yet to be seen. Okay.
Yes.
And we are saying we are result oriented. Now I'm bringing the other aspect which you've asked me. Okay. That some people have provided the services. Okay, they reach a certain point when whosoever leader, you will give a service, Mr. Chirimoto, and you're not able to provide the resources to this person, you've limited the person to fulfill the results.
Yeah.
That is true. Now, if at all you wanted me on your organ or on your TV right now, and I tell you I do not have a phone to come onto your TV, and Mr. Chirimoto, you don't provide me a phone or a link to get onto your TV, how is everybody going to see me?
No one, no, not at all.
That is it.
Nothing.
Now we are saying in our leadership, we want to give you the resources, the tools on your services that you want to produce, so that you bring them out, okay? So that we can see the results, so that they can go into communities. We're not seeing that because the resources are stuck somewhere. And for us, that's why we are moving from council into the executive, so that we can get those resources to the people, rightfully so, where they belong. Okay,
that is number one. That is
results. That is number one. So we are saying, you see how I'm streamlining this, and it goes into the three sectors that we are talking about, which is the transparency, accountability, and results. Okay. So if we are transparent, we get a grant. Okay. I've had the vice presidents discussing grants, resources, fundraisers, and everything, because their office is about development. Okay. So I've had it happening with the vice presidents. Okay. And now I'm saying these vice presidents have good projects, have good programs, have good planning, but where are the resources? We need now to look for resources, because the programs are already in there. We have a community emergency fund. It's in there. Okay. We are staging up another way of helping out in those undocumented immigrants who need to be taken back home. Okay.
Afande, how have UNA members benefited from this emergency fund?
It is just starting. Our council, are the people who have implemented it, who have brought it into council. Okay, so when it's starting. This year, the 2019-2021 to 2021, that has been the program that has been deliberated on. Okay, which this council is bringing. It's a good benefit for all of us. But the frustration of it is gonna be when they cut it out. Okay, when somebody, the executive who are going into power, don't put it into action, then it will remain a program on paper. But we are saying, help us so much, put us into power, so that you can see at least one program come to fruitfulness. Okay, come to power, because we would be there. We're going to be the ones allocating these resources, because they failed to allocate them. This time when we are going into the convention, Mr. Chirimoto, that community emergency fund would be already put into action with this. Because you know what it does? You know how we get the funding? We get the funding from each individual who registers for that occasion. We get the funding from each individual who buys a drink in that occasion. We get the funding from each individual who registers for a hotel in that convention. We get the funding from each individual who is a vendor in that occasion. We get the funding from each individual who is a producer in that occasion. Generally, anybody who touches the occasion automatically contributes the what? Emergency fund.
The emergency fund.
But even with that good benefit that is already in place that just needs to be implemented, still this year, where we're talking about, money has been used for other resources, but still nothing has been allocated into the fund that everybody needs. But we go ahead and allocate in other fundings, which are not even beneficial to the UNA member. So why transparency? We come in and say we're going to have the transparency of showing you how much we've collected on an individual in the emergency fund, in the convention, how much we've collected this year from Uganda and applied it in the convention, how much the other producers, sound vendors, or anybody in the procurement process we've given the bid to, how much have they taken and how much would they gain, okay, or bring back. So accountability would be streamlined. We're going to have it on the website. We're not going to hide. We're going to have it in time. You had the treasurer. He was there. I want to beg the next treasurer to even be the one begging council to come table the convention budget. You know, but we get to beg for people, for executive to come to table a convention budget. We gave them 3 invitations and nothing was honored. And then they come and spend the way they wish in the convention. That ain't transparency, that ain't accountability. And the results, however much they'll produce good results or bad results, the money is spent recklessly because you don't want to come for it.
Okay. Some people call you Iron Lady.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because you are a Afande and you are Iron Lady still. So thank you for your submission.
You're welcome, sir.
I'm going for a short break. But when we come back, I want to start with Lydia Natoro. People have different views on the Ugandan government funds in UNA. Some people say, how and why does UNA, an organization that operates in North America, Canada, and America, in the United States of America, in the first world countries, where money comes from, has been in existence for over 3 decades. How does it get funds from the Ugandan government? Which funds should have been used or should have been used to help people, to put in the hospitals, to do a lot of things? You know, why does it have to come to the UNA? And other people have a view that it doesn't matter where the money comes from the Ugandan government, but what matters is how money is put into use. What is your view on that, President? Do you accept? Do you not accept? We shall start from there after a break. Let's go for a short break and we'll come back.
This is the State of the Nation Special Edition. Ibifa Mbwanga. We are deliberate, we are reasonable, we are uncensored. The State of the Nation Special Edition with Moses Chirimutu Lukwago.
Every
day I pray to be mighty, to give me a brighter day. I'll be telling good day. With the might I can be a bastard. When they Every day I pray to the mighty to give me a brighter day. I be telling you.
Okay. Lydia, can you hear me well? Okay.
Yes, I can.
Sawa elimu n'ekitundu e Toronto wano Canada.
Yes.
Dakiika
And Mr. Chirimuta, I wanted to ask you something. People have been waiting for us here. I know this is important and we are so grateful. We can come back and complete the debate later, but if we can have 2 questions to complete the debate, because pretty much the membership here in Chicago are leaving and it's been raining outside. We wanted also to give them time and show up.
It's okay. We can.
They are waiting, humbly waiting.
We can have 2. Okay, we can have 2 questions, no problem, and we just finish because we have 30 minutes, but we can as well finish in 10 or 15 minutes. It depends on you how you expound, those questions. Let's go straight to the question. I asked you about the Ugandan funds, and it's been coming to your office. Which office you are leaving and then running for the top office?
So you wanted me to go ahead and answer about the money issue from the government. By the way, it's one of our 10-point social contract, number 9. As I was going through everything, it says we are going to redefine the relationship between UNA and the Ghana government. Why do we say that? When we talk about redefining the relationship, this money was brought to UNA for a purpose. But of course, along the way, there was no accountability for some of these monies. There was no transparency. So when you ask me whether when I become president, will I allow this money to come to UNA? I don't have the powers, just like I said, even as a president. That's why we are inviting every Ugandan to come to the AGM in Cincinnati. This is your time as Ugandans in the diaspora to choose whether you need this money to come to the diaspora. Personally, knowing what's happening back home, our people are in lockdown, hospitals don't have medicine, basic needs. This money can stay back home and help our people. I'm just going to give our membership simple math. We're getting $100,000 from the government of Uganda. We are more than 150,000 Ugandans, both the United States and Canada. And these are Ugandans who want to associate themselves with UNA, the database out there. If every Ugandan in the diaspora gave $1, that would be $150,000. $50,000 more than what's coming from the government. If every Uganda gave $10, and I'm talking about there could be a family of 6, that means 60 bucks. But let's say 10 bucks came from a family of 5. That's $1.5 million.
Yes.
Coming from us. We have Ugandans who are millionaires.
Yes.
We have Ugandans who have money.
Yes.
But they don't want to associate themselves knowing there's money coming from Uganda.
Yes.
Given what's happening in our country.
Projects. Yes.
And we all know. And I want to bring this clear. Many people, there's a rhetoric saying, my leadership is coming to make UNA political, to make it, take it away from, I don't know how they call it, but pretty much we are on the other side of the spectrum. They're giving us colors. Isn't it okay for somebody to have a political affiliation, but come and serve the community? UNA is a non-profit organization. It welcomes Christians, Muslims, Jews, Catholics, Protestants, those who are affiliated with yellow, blue, red, black, white, whatever color. So let people stop affiliating Team Unity, that it's on this other side of the spectrum, and we're bringing politics into UNA. UNA is already political. I might as well emphasize this. UNA has been political for a while. We are saying we are bringing professionalism into UNA, which is number 7 of our social contract with the diaspora. We want to make sure that 33 years later, UNA doesn't even have a home. Once upon a time, living in Boston, I volunteered in the only office that was brought into Waltham by then President Frank Mosisi, Major Mosisi now, who started an office. And while I was there, I used to go to Northeastern University, for those who live in Massachusetts. After my classes, I used to come to this office. And that's where my heart to serve UNA started. People used to call. They're homeless. They don't have nowhere to stay. They want to help want to have a lawyer to help them with their paperwork.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized we have real problems. But now, 33 years later, we don't even have a home. So these are some of the things our team is saying. Wondering. We want the UNA membership to entrust us. Because you said 2 years is less time, but whatever we're writing in our social contract, these are things that would have been done 10, 15 years ago.
Exactly.
So for us, we are literally noticing that these are ideas we're bringing on the table, and every action, every agenda that becomes fruitful starts from a dialogue. You have to write it down on paper, discuss it with a great team, and push it.
Good.
And build that great organization that actually our membership deserves. And again, I say deserves. Good. So thank you so much. And again, Mr. Chirimut, I wanted to emphasize that people are literally around the car. I don't know how we're going to close this out, but yes. One more question to Madam Speaker, our next Executive Secretary.
Yes.
And then give us an opportunity to ask for the vote for our membership in the community.
I will definitely let you go. One last question to the Executive Secretary, the aspiring Executive
We
Secretary.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me? What about now?
Yes, thank you.
Maureen Afande Momo.
Yes, sir.
I saw an endorsement from Dr. Daniel Kauma, speaking a lot of good things about you, your team, about your team, Team Unity. And he mentioned a lot of things, you know, as if he was campaigning for you. That is my
That's your take.
What relationship do you have with Dr. Daniel Kauma? You as your team
okay.
Unity.
Guess what? Most of us in Team Unity, I'm just going to hit it straight on the head, because you see, we are waving to community members. There's so many around us. We were founded, or we were told about UNA through that man, the doctor himself. He had to sit us down to tell us about UNA and its leadership. Why? He believed in the vision we believed in. Like I told you on my last interview, when I was speaking about UNA as a speaker and what I found in there, I told you I don't rally behind somebody who doesn't have values. I am a value-based person, okay? And I believe in my values, okay? And in believing in my values, I'm able to identify who rallies in my values. Who rallies in my values? I'm able to identify who rallies in my values. Who rally in my values? I'm able to identify that person, and that person makes it. You should have looked. And that person makes me know.
Can I have your attention, please, Afan?
Yeah, so because Madam President had gone out and she was getting all the noise in here. Anyway, you excuse us with that. So this is what I want to tell you. Dr. Kauma is valued, okay? And has those values that I embrace. And if I embrace them, I'm going to rally behind that person. So when he approached me about the UNA leadership, I told him, no, I don't want to be in that organization. And he told me why. I expressed my concerns and also told him that that period I was supposed to have a German tour again in the military. So I told him I wouldn't be able to. So he told me, it's okay, you can even go for your tour, but you will be able to do it. And then he walked me through how the actual leadership is being done. And when the actual leadership is being done, that is when I came in and made it happen. And I said, I'm going to be part and parcel of it. Because the values that he was embracing, what he was fighting for, what his manifesto had, he had the solutions to the bad leadership. When we were in there, we embraced those solutions and found that we can do those solutions. But the time was limited and we didn't have the resources. So we found out who gives out the resources. The person who gives out the resources is in the executive, okay? So we say that we can't stop in the council because the council just makes policies, makes recommendations, has to implement after they're given resources. So we found that the resourceful part is always being, it's always being gagged, or it's always being sat on. So we want to go to the executive to find those resources and bring them back, okay, to the council to implement those programs, you know, and that is what Mr. Kauma saw in us, people who have the zeal to continue to fight until something is done. Okay. And that is also Madame Lydia Natoro. She has a community, you know, she is community oriented. She has even an NGO, Love the Community, Love One Community. She goes into the communities. Her pictures show her in Kumi, in the university, advocating for no deportation of people. You know, they're showing her everywhere when she's moving in the diaspora. She's been moving in 7 states already. That shows that she has love for the community. She is looking out for each one of us. And this is what we are doing. UNA is helping hand. It should be touching each member in UNA for the good of UNA, for the benefit of UNA. We were not seeing that. So Mr. Kauma identified us who could have that passion, that zeal to do it. And that's why he's associating with Team Unity. That's why he's campaigning with Team Unity. That's why he thinks Team Unity can do it. So when you see that he has aligned himself with Lydia Natoro's team, because they have the same values, because they are representing the solutions to the UNA bad leadership. They are representing the solutions to our communities that have refused to develop, or that are really still into a making that needs more good professionalism and information-oriented leaders. That is why he endorsed Team Unity.
Beautiful. Okay. Thank you so much for your submissions, both of you, Madam Vice President, the outgoing Vice President, and of course the aspiring Vice President.
Mr. Abubeka.
Mr. Abubeka, just wait.
Mr. Abubeka, how are you doing?
Angezaako kunoonya watali bireekaana.
We're taking it seriously. People waiting for us.
Okay, Lydia.
We are going to ask our vote.
But
Lydia,
you can,
they're going to close out in a few minutes.
but you can leave Mr. Abubeka to say something.
Yes. We're going to leave Mr. Abubeka here. But if you can give us an opportunity to reach out to our community members, as Lydia Natoro, I want to let our membership know. I am your Vice President of UNA. I've done as much as I can do, and my profile speaks for itself. I'm coming to run as your next president of UNA. I believe I have not just myself and the ability, but the best team unity. So I'm appealing to every UNA member who is going to be in Cincinnati, because this is an on-site voting. Come and vote for Lydia Natolo as your next UNA president. This is a presidential debate and a secretarial debate, but it's Lydia Natolo alone here. And I want to say, when you put me in that position, again, it's not about titles, but it's about servanthood. Vote for Lydia Natolo, team unity. You are going to see results. Our social contract speaks for itself, and we're here to serve you. May God bless you.
Bless
God
you. Lydia, before you go, my last word for you is James William Mugeni, yeah? James William Mugeni was viewing us and they're supporting you. And Alex Kabwama also was viewing us, and she said that go ahead, Lydia Natolo, they have all your support to make UNA great again. And other viewers who posted their comments. I will let you go. Lydia Agenda, thank you for your time. I will just wish you all the good luck in your cause.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Salongo.
I'd like to apologize, guys, for coming in late. I'm in Cincinnati here. Sorry, I'm in Chicago here, trying to look for votes. So I was caught up in between a little debate here. That's why I couldn't make it on time. But I'm so sorry. But nevertheless, I'm here.
You are here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maureen Nchakula. Oh, Maureen Unlimited. Maureen Nchakula bako ogenze. Maureen agenze. Salongo, welcome to the show. Nevertheless, okay, better late than never. We have been here for 1 hour and 50 minutes. So we just left with only 10 minutes to end the show. And your fellow panelists were waiting for you to debate together, you know, to discuss UNA issues together. But unfortunately, you were caught up with many hassles and other programs. It is fine, just as we say that better late than never. I'm offering you these last 10 minutes to use them to briefly tell people your program for the UNA Executive Secretary and how you're going to transform this position or transform UNA using this position.
Yeah, my name is Abeka Mlumba, Executive Secretary in waiting. Like I usually tell people that UNA is about having joy. UNA is about knowing one another. UNA is about unity. Which unity we shouldn't just talk about, but we should show. We should be exemplary by showing that we who are advocating for unity, we are united. If you cannot unite 5 people, you can't unite the entire diaspora in Americas and Canada. So it's better preached and practiced. So I'm one person who always practice what I preach. My points are very, very little, but affordable and easy to implement, other than having a large book like this that you cannot implement. Just want few things. I want a UNA that is accommodative of everybody, irrespective of your religion, your political affiliation, your tribe. That's a convention that is for everybody. I have a very big problem whereby every convention We go to Uganda, look for musicians. We fight for musicians from Uganda with other people. Yet we have a lot of talent here. We just need to give them a chance and entertain the people on that day. To tap the talent here.
Yes.
Which is very, very big here, but we don't tap them. We don't give them a chance. We just run to Uganda to get musicians, to get dancers, to get whatever. Yet we can get everything here on the ground. My other point is about Canada. Ever since I talked about Canada, everyone has jumped on making Canada an issue. But that has been my point ever since day one. You remember I told you the last time we met that there is no way we call Canada part of UNA when we don't give them an equal chance like other states. And for them, they are a nation. For us, we are states.
Yes.
I've been here 6 years, but in those 6 years, California had a chance to host twice. Why do we host twice when there's other states who
have not hosted?
Well, not hosted at all. Why don't we put Canada part of UNA? Why don't we give them a chance? How will we judge them if we don't give them a chance and say they failed? So we need to give them an equal chance rather than waiting for them every time when there's election and we start calling them and we start making them part of us. I'm looking forward to helping local business people here who are having businesses here in any way possible. It's a .com era, so I usually challenge my friend Lambert and whoever is on. We don't have an Instagram. Our Facebook is never that busy, and that's the way now to communicate. We need a page, a Facebook page that is very busy. That's why people don't know. I'm here in Chicago, but everyone says, I didn't register, I didn't know. I didn't register, I didn't know. And this is a place just a 2 hours drive from here to Ohio, Cincinnati. So,
oh my God.
But
so
because there's no communication. I'll fight to see that there is better communication. My friend, bad enough, is gone. But for the last 2 years, I don't see what they show they've done. I don't see it. They've just been in wars. The executive and the council were fighting one another. So we are lagging behind because of that. So given a chance, I'll make sure that there's that unity they preach and they don't practice. We need the unity that people preach and they practice it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I just tell people to vote for me. I appreciate, and I'm so happy that they did the same the last time I stood. They should do the same now. Please, please, please. I'll be the person to consult you before I do anything.
Yeah. Salongo Mulumba.
So,
my last question to you is about when you were here at the other time on the show. You mentioned that in the previous election, they cheated you, and you were not declared the winner that time. So how sure are you that even this time you won't be cheated and you won't be declared as winner because you are not running in a position unopposed?
Yeah, we will be more vigilant this time. We relax a little bit. There are certain things I don't expect in this era, like a community-based organization to rig an election. So I didn't expect that when I was contesting the other time. I usually tell people when I just come to America, I bought a bicycle, my first means of transport.
I remember that story.
and I just left it there and someone stole it. I didn't expect someone to steal a bicycle in America.
うん
So this time we are going to be more vigilant.
うん
We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going to make sure that we don't cheat. We are going The commissioners also to know that they are credible people. They should keep their credibility, or otherwise we will. This time there's no one who's going to play around our vote. Because people were saying the chairman EC told us to go away, and we left him with the board of directors. This time there's nothing like that. We have to be there from day one. This time we are voting 2 days, so we must be very, very vigilant and keen.
Okay. Thank you so much for that submission, Salongo. Bwaba waliwo kyoyagala okuwunzika nakyo kujikiza abantu okulonda akozese dakiika 2 ezisigaddeyo okiyiseewo tusobole okuba nga tuwunzika akawungeezi akaleero.
Traveling nze Chicago okunoonya akalulu, so debate wetandikidde ate wembadde
oyogererako n'abalonzi
wembadde nga kikutte nga a slight move away kibadde kiyinza okunkola obubi, naye era nfubye nnyo ne mpapa nzije ngati nsanze wali eddakiika 5-10. Abalonzi mbasaba mumpa akalulu. Siri mu bana bagamba nti twegatte ng'ate bo n'okwegatta kibalemye. Twegatte ng'ate ngezaako okulaba nga twegatte. Bino ebintu byakusanyuka fun, si lutalo. Bwe ndaba abantu nga beeyuza beevuma omutasobola na kulinnya waali munne musaba ekyokuvolontiyaringa to be volunteers unless nga mulina kye mutukweka. Naye bwe kiba ddala nga is volunteering ne mweyuza ne mwevuma ne mukola ki, then it's something that you're hiding from us. Nja kuemphasizinga nnyo accountability yeyingira mu coffers za UNA, twetaago gye accounting. Abavubuka Canada biri top on my list. Canada erina okubeera nga efiibwako si tutuuse mu elections mukka, but every business z'Abannayuganda abali wano twetaaga tuziwe amaanyi. Tuweeyo obudde okulaakulanya naddala abavubuka. Cultures zaffe twetaaga conversion, twetaaga organization eri people based, eri inclusive of everybody. Etalina nti nze ndi wa NUP, ndi wa DP, nze ndi wa UNRM, but fenna nga tusobola okwegattira wamu, to having a fun. Ebibiina byaffe tubiddamu after that. Nga when we meet for UNA, we are one. We are one family, irrespective of where you come from. Emphasize that.
Okay.
Ebyama byammwe, nja kukuuma ebyama byammwe, kuba secretariat involves people's names, people's identity, addresses. As a custodian, nja bikuuma intact. Mukwano gwange avubuko mbadde mwesunga obwedda. Nalaba amannya g'abantu bonna ng'agasudde ku Facebook. I didn't like that. Abewandiisiza nga kuliko n'addresi zaabwe naki. I didn't like that. Tosobola kubanga ogenda kubeera secretary nga documents z'abantu omala gazijaajamya bwoti. Yeah.
Okay.
Ndabire nga ddala obudde tulinayo wiiki nyongera okwetonda kaleeti naye kasita nfubye nenzija.
Ofubye n'otuuka. Tewali mutawaana Salongo. Atukwebaza olw'okubanga era omuntu ow'obuvunaanyizibwa yenna bw'ate bw'abeera. Ky'osoboddeko kyekyo ky'osobodde okukola. Tumanyi n'ebyo by'obadde okwasaganya nabyo obuvunaanyizibwa bulala obukutwala oba obukutuusa ku buwanguzi. Mathias, eno program wabadde wagitegeera dda ebbanga ddene, naye olw'okuba birimu okutambula okuva mu state emu okugenda mu ndala, ebyalobera Wanyindo okwegala tusobola okubitegeera. Naye kasita ekirungi otusanze nga tumaliriza ate n'obaako naawe submissions z'okola platform eno, abalonzi bo bafunyeeko kye basobodde okufuna. Tukwagala nnyo era tukwagaliza buwanguzi bwereere.
Era nsaba abantu bonna platform nga zino because kakati ekitubulako ye communication platform nga zino tuziwe obudde nzogenda ku CNN ndabe Afghanistan bwe beekuba I rather come to
State of the Nation
ndaba bannayuganda bagamba ki abali Canada bannayuganda abali Boston bagamba ki nembeera nga ndi in touch ne community yange let's subscribe ku channel zino get notification bell nti buli lwateekayo ekintu gwobera omusaalo kiraba
butereevu.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Salongo. Thank you again. Thank you so much. Of course, we invited many candidates to be part of this this town hall conversation, and some of them did not declined our invitation, and some of them never responded at all. Those who managed to respond are those you watched today, but we promise that even next weekend we have another State of the UNAA election special edition show. I will be hosting Henry Elvis Nsereko. He's coming from Team Action. He's aspiring for the post of the vice president for the post
treasurer.
For the treasurer, yes, for the office of the treasurer. So he won't make it today. Of course, he has different other obligations to carry on. But we want to.
I'm with him here. He's very busy. That's why he couldn't.
Yeah.
We are just,
I understand
this opportunity that people have gathered here.
Yes.
So we are using every opportunity that we could to talk to them.
In the shortest period of time you have, because I know time so we can excuse you for that. Thank you so much, Salon. Twagala kwerekereza tukwagaliza obuwanguzi bwonna bo Allah bw'osaba kutuuseeko mu kifo ky'oluubirira okutuukako, ate tukusabira famire gitulabire nnyo ne okutambula bulungi n'abalala bonna ababadde ku show eno tubagaliza buwanguzi buli omu mu noble cause gya pursuing okutuukako. Thank you so much for joining us. Back to you, our viewers. Thank you so much for we really appreciate for your time. Thank you for sparing your data. Thank you for posting your comments for those who managed to do it. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Henry Sally. You can always join us whenever we have a show on our Facebook page at Henry Sally. Share, press that bell button. Whenever we have a show, you can receive notifications. Thank you for being a part of the show today. It's been a town hall conversation hosted by Canada, hosted by the State of the Nation Studios in a special edition State of the UNAA elections, hosted, of course, by me, Munajeza Chirimutu, Lukwago Moses, Ambassador Kamsung Sung, in working alongside with my brother, Henry Sally, in the production and everything that you see when you see us here on air. Thank you for your time. We just wish you a beautiful and amazing weekend. Stay safe.
This is the State of the Nation Special Edition. Ibifa Mbwanga. We are deliberate, we are reasonable, we are uncensored. The State of the Nation Special Edition with Moses Chirimutu Lukwago.